Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and I wanted to compile a list of what I believe to be the top 5 things you must do before Legion's arrival. Now, number 5 would be running Mythic Dungeons. Now, it's not necessary for you to get, Mythic Dungeons aren't going to make you any kind of gear, upgrades, nothing. They're 685, so nothing special in that matter. But when running Mythic Dungeons, any boss of any of the Mythic dungeons can drop a BOA trinket for you. This BOA trinket starts at 715 item level. It's decent for most characters at level 100, but the thing that's good about this trinket is it will last you until level 110 when Legion starts. So you're going to have a really good trinket for the entirety of Legion and possibly into the beginning of heroics at level 110. So it goes all the way to 800 item level at max. Really good trinket, great to pick up. You don't want to miss out on it like with Siege of Orgrimmar, the BOAs off Garrosh. The BOAs off Garrosh are somewhat better than the actual BOAs you can buy, so it was nice picking them up before the expansion ended. So number 5, make sure to do your Mythic Dungeons. Now, number 4 would be stocking up on Garrison crap. This can include things like, let me look, like the Burning Blade toy. You see, this thing only costs 10 gold. The cheapest one is $9.95. Very cheap. Or Cinder Pup. Now, of course, the prices may vary on your server, but they're still quite cheap. So, Cinder Pup. 8 gold, 5 silver. He has 20 of them at 8 gold, 5 silver. So extremely cheap. But when Legion comes, we don't know how the Garrison is going to work in Legion. So any of these items may be extremely hard to attain come Legion. And the simple fact that even if they don't change how they work, let's say the Garrison stays absolutely exactly how it is right now, who's going to be in their Garrison in Legion? We're going to be in the Garrison 2.0 version called the Class Hall or whatever, so we won't be going back to our Garrison as much as we are right now. So all of these items are going to be in very limited quantity. That mount, the coal Grondling. Yeah, Coalface Grondling. Look, 3.5k. I bet you when Legion hits, this mount will be as high as 20 to 30k again, if not more. Simply because it'll be super rare. But these are items you're going to want to stock up on. Just throw them in a bank, something, and get as many of these as you can for as cheap as possible, because it'll definitely benefit you when Legion hits. It's like a long-term investment. Now, the next thing is something I'm guilty of, but I need to get it done too, is do the gold challenge modes. Do not wait and regret that you never got the gold challenge modes done, because they are changing the way that your equipment can be transmogged and everything in Legion. So, like, you could buy this and probably use it on any character, even if I did it on my Warlock and got this. Because the way transmog is becoming made, it's like BOA transmog. So you'll, as far as it sounds, when you obtain the item, it will instantly become part of your transmog tab. So I'm assuming they're going to make like the mounts, pets, toy, heirloom, transmog. Something like that, because they said it's going to be part of like the Diablo system. So if you get all of these are some really nice transmogs. Like, they absolutely look amazing. So these are great, and you don't want to regret not getting them. Like, I know a lot of people who wanted the Warlock transmog from Mist of Pandaria, because it's sick. You can't deny that it's an awesome transmog. And now if you didn't get gold in Mist of Pandaria, you're never going to have access to it. So, which really sucks. So don't regret not getting this. And on top of it, if you get silver, you get a mount from the challenge modes and Warlords. So you don't want to miss out on that either. On the same note, if you're not raiding and doing anything, you're going to want to make sure you get the, what's it called? That new mount. You don't want to regret not getting the Grove Warden, which currently anybody who kills at least heroic or higher Archimon will receive an item that lets you get this moves. So if you're already raiding, you probably already have this. The moment it came out, you probably got it, honestly. But if you're not raiding, you're going to want to buy a carry. They usually run about 50k on my server. I don't know how much it is on other servers. Just simply make sure you get this guy, because this is a really fairly unique model, and it looks nice. And you don't want to regret not getting it, because there's a lot of mounts that I regret that I didn't get, and now they're gone forever. So make sure you go get the moose off Heroic Archimon. Now, next is to max out your professions. You're going to want at least a profession, you know, have them as high at the 700. Get them to 700 on every character, and have at least one of every single profession. You don't want to have a profession missing, because you don't know what Blizzard's going to do. They could bring back profession perks for all we know. There's no guarantee. We don't know what their plans are. Blizzard just likes to make things crazy. So who knows what they intend to do with professions. So you're gonna want to get some max professions of at least everything. I don't care if you want to stock up on a couple. I would say with expansion releases, Inscription is always a really good profession to have multiple of when an expansion first comes out, because the Dark Moon cards are worth a lot of gold. So if you want to get extra Inscriptionists, I would recommend that to prepare yourself for Legion, but at least have one of everything. That way, if when the new patterns are released, maybe you can get an extremely expensive pattern that's people are going to tip you 5 or 10k to craft for them, because when they need the best gear so they can do their progression rating and stuff, you're going to make the most gold possible by having all kinds of professions. Enchanting is a great one, because they need their weapons, their armor, everything enchanted to prepare for raiding. So you make a lot when the expansion first hits. It's just crazy, the gold income. Like I said though, Inscription is probably the most profitable when an expansion hits, because Dark Moon Fair cards are amazing trinkets for the beginning of every expansion, and they go for a lot. So make sure you get your professions maxed. And then finally, what you're going to want is to level one of every class to 100. I don't care if you hate leveling, you need to have your characters that you want to play at 100 when the expansion hits. Now, if you don't want one of every class, if you're absolutely loathe a Warlock, let's say you just despise Warlock, then don't do it. I'm not saying force yourself to play a class, but the point of having one of every class at 100 is nice, because you can play whatever spec you like. Let's say Shadow Priests are beastly next expansion, because they've been having it pretty rough this expansion. Let's say they're absolute gods next expansion, but you never leveled a priest because you didn't see the point in it. You thought, oh, they're a complete joke, why would I level one? Well, you don't know what they're going to be next expansion. So that's why I recommend having one of everything at 100. You don't have to gear them out, because when leveling in Legion, most likely you're going to replace even your mythic gear within 4 or 5 levels. That's usually how it goes. It never lasts you until the max level, unless you just don't care to replace it. It's up to you in the end, but usually you can find better gear by 5 levels past when the expansion is released. So you don't have to gear them out. Just get them to 100. Let them sit in your garrison and make you gold while doing your daily missions. You know, having a level 100, you can make roughly at least 500 gold a day doing garrison missions if you optimize your garrisons. So even if you don't play them, you're going to get 15k a month for sitting in your garrison. So that's an extra character for an extra 15k a month. I mean, you can, with 2 characters, you can pretty much buy your game token just AFKing in your garrison. So definitely level some characters. Get them to 100, prepare yourself for Legion, and be ready to play whatever you feel like playing when it comes out. Don't be stuck behind, missing out on all the new content, because everybody wants to be up to date when it's out. They don't want to have to be leveling their level 15 saying, man, I really wish I was in Legion right now. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. Just do it right now when you have plenty of time to level. So anyways, those are my top 5. If you got any more suggestions, please drop me a comment. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I appreciate you watching, and thanks. I'll see you again soon, everybody.